Hello, hello. Can I build a box to get physically inside of which shields me from cosmic ray flux, ground level effects of solar flares, and geomagnetic storms from high speed solar wind and CME impacts? This is actually possible. Let's just get on with the first part right now. So, yeah, this is possible to build such a box. I mean, it's not gonna be easy because, again, cosmic ray flux, as you probably know, it creates a bunch of secondary particles when it hits the atoms in the atmosphere, mostly nitrogen and oxygen, but not only. And you get stuff like muons, you get like antimatter, like positrons or whatever, you get even neutrons and things like that. And like these things are pretty hard to shield from, especially neutrons and muons, but it's still doable. I mean, if it's very thick lead shell, lead uh, would help you to shield from it. However, there are some things which are much harder to get shielded from, like let's say geomagnetic storms, right? Which is shift of the magnetic field of the Earth itself, and this shift is not super predictable, right? It's like a oscillation in all three axes pretty much, and it has like a wide array of frequencies. There's both like low frequency component. There's like a higher frequency component. So perhaps I would say not only you would have to have a very thick metallic, preferably something like lead, shielding to get shielded from neutrons, for example. You need also, well, neutrons, I mean, you can get shielded by some other things as well, some other materials. But anyway, talking about the geomagnetic component specifically, you may need some sort of like active shielding. What do I mean by that is like almost like this system of active sound suppression in some of the headphones it's used right now, right? Where you have basically a microphone listening to what's happening outside, and the headphones themselves producing the kind of the off phase oscillation of the same type as the outside noise. And so in your ear, it gets compensated. The outside noise gets compensated by this additional off phase oscillation of the headphones, of the membrane of the headphones. So something like this would have to be done, I think, to get shielded from geomagnetic storms. But it's just kind of my almost like I don't even know if somebody proposed this previously. Probably did, but you would probably need something like this. So you would need a magnetometer that would read with a very very quickly. So the response time should be very quick. It would read the oscillation of the magnetic field of Earth, and then you would have a system of coils that would produce kind of the reverse current, like to nullify this oscillation of the magnetic field of Earth. So to keep it stable, right? Something like this, probably. I mean, if you want to get really like shielded from it. Yeah. And high speed solar wind and CME, I mean, in their own right, in itself, like it doesn't impact you at all, right? So the only channel it impacts you through is geomagnetic storms. But yeah, like theoretically, like if you really want to do it, if you have like an unlimited budget or a very big budget, let's put it this way, like millions of dollars at least, you can build it, yes. And the second part is, should I or might I medically be better off staying away from such a box? I'm not really claustrophobic, very useful information, and remain instead intentionally exposed to more space weather health effect. Like, well, there's like a simple consideration is that as humans have lived on this planet for quite a while, we don't really know for how long, but very long. Maybe it's actually fine, to be exposed because it's kind of a natural stuff for human beings. I mean, you can make an argument that it's kind of like a catastrophe type of event, right? So kind of like a flood. Like since humans have been exposed to floods shouldn't we try to avoid floods? And yeah, it's a good argument actually. So I don't know. I'm not a doctor. So maybe like if there's like a really strong event, you would be better off being shielded from it, right? But every day, I think it's not a good thing. Like if you just try to keep your KP equals zero, roughly speaking, right? It's probably not good. So probably a healthy dose of radiation and like no sarcasm here is actually good for you. But this is just my opinion. And once again, I'm not a doctor. And to be fair, I would say like no one can answer this question uh, with any degree of confidence if they're honest with themselves and with us. But so long story short, first part, yes, you can build a box. Second part, I don't know.